There are some stories that are hard to tell, stories that make you question everything you thought you knew about love, family, and boundaries. This is one of those stories. I'm sharing it not because it's easy, but because it's my truth. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there needs to hear it. Growing up, I thought my mom was like any other mom. She was loving, protective, and always there for me. We had a bond that felt unbreakable, one that I thought was normal. But as I got older, I started to notice things that didn't feel quite right. It started small, so small that I almost didn't notice it. Little comments she'd make, things that didn't seem like something a mom would say to her son, compliments about my looks that felt too personal, lingering touches that made me uncomfortable, but that I brushed off as her being affectionate. I told myself I was imagining things. She's my mom, I thought. She loves me. But over time, those moments became harder to ignore. When I was in my late teens, it became impossible to deny. One evening, we were sitting on the couch watching a movie. I remember the way she looked at me, like I wasn't her son, but something more. Her words that night still echo in my head. She told me I was handsome, that I had grown into a man, that I reminded her of someone she once loved. At first, I laughed it off, thinking it was just her way of being sentimental, but then she reached for my hand, holding it in a way that felt wrong. And when she looked at me, her eyes weren't those of a mother looking at her child. I froze. My heart was pounding, my mind racing. I didn't know what to do, what to say. This was my mom, the person who was supposed to protect me, to love me unconditionally, but in a way that was safe, maternal. And yet, in that moment, I felt anything but safe. Over the next few months, things got worse. Her affection became more intense, her words more suggestive. I started avoiding her, staying out late, finding excuses to not be at home. But no matter how much distance I tried to create, I couldn't escape the weight of it. I wanted to confront her, to tell her how I felt, but I was terrified. What if she denied it? What if she got angry? What if it made things even worse? Eventually, I couldn't keep it inside anymore. I told a close friend what was happening, and their reaction was a mix of shock and concern. They helped me see that this wasn't my fault, that I wasn't imagining things, and that I needed to set boundaries. The hardest moment of my life was the day I finally confronted her. I told her how her behavior made me feel, how it had crossed lines that should never be crossed. She cried, apologized, and told me she didn't know why she felt the way she did. She said she loved me and never wanted to hurt me. I didn't have the words to respond. I still don't. Since then, I've worked hard to rebuild my sense of self, to understand that her actions don't define me. I've learned to set boundaries, to protect myself, and to seek help when I need it. If you're watching this and you've experienced something similar, please know you're not alone. It's okay to feel confused, to feel hurt, to not know what to do, but it's not your fault, and there is help out there. I'm sharing my story not to shame anyone, but to show that even in the most complicated, painful situations, there's a way forward. You can heal. You can find peace.